and welcome to yet another episode of MedTech Talks, where we explore the amazing possibilities of AI in healthcare. I'm your host, Shruti, and we have Dr. Abhay Chopada sir with us. Hello, sir.
Hi, thank you for
So
inviting me,
today,
Shruti. Really pleased to be here.
yes, I'm very excited about today's episode. So today we are going to talk about role of technology in transforming India's healthcare landscape. So let's dive into it. Sir, I would like to start with your reflections on the global trends in healthcare technology that India should adapt to enhance its healthcare infrastructure.
Yeah, so let's split this into two parts: technology trends that are globally relevant and the current Indian health infrastructure. Because without understanding these two separately, you wouldn't understand the opportunity. So today, technology has made progress beyond our belief. Just imagine a life without a mobile phone or a smartphone and a life without a computer. And believe me, this was all very real when I grew up. We had no computers. In fact,
Right.
evolution from what I would consider as the pre-technology era in a way, though we did have technologies in electricity and mechanical engineering. The big transformation came with
Right.
digital transformation, and that started in the mid 80s. And the reason was personal computing made a lot of technology accessible to the masses. Now, where is
Right.
technology going today? And let me put it this way: it is affecting each and every aspect of human existence. Today, when I talk about AI, essentially what we are doing is we're using technology to try to replicate human thinking, human abilities, and multiply it.
Right.
So the entire
Right.
gamut of technology, and you'd be surprised that this is not just in any single area. It is right from quantum
Right.
computing to data sciences to innovations in physics to innovations in biology. I'll give you a simple example of how technology is really going to transform us. And this morning I read an article which talked about a photometabolic effect. I
Right.
was well aware of the photoelectric effect, which Einstein had put, and that is really being used in technology quite extensively. So, when you look up at a light sensor, that is photoelectricity, right? But a team at
Right.
MIT has now picked up a way in which light can evaporate water without actually heating it up. The traditional thinking we've always had is that if you heat water, that converts to steam, and that's how water vapor is
Right.
formed. The problem remains that the sea temperature has never been 100 degrees.
Right.
So, what is happening? How is it that we're still managing to get water vapor, and why does water evaporate even when the temperature is not high? No one has ever thought this deep, but believe me, it's such a profound question. And this morning, I read a very interesting podcast by a scientist from MIT, and they explained it in such a brilliant way. But that simple discovery is in itself a complete transformation for mankind. Let me explain it to you. If I can control evaporation of water and understand photometabolic effect, I'll be able to control climate. You will be able to
Right.
decide
Yeah.
where you want heat, where you want coolness, how do you allocate
Yeah.
natural resources. So my God, my brain was blown away. Think about it. So technology is
Yeah.
not a single thing. Now let me come to the next question. This is why I
Right.
said you have to put technology in the context with healthcare. India today is an aspirational,
Right.
the most dynamic and vibrant democracy on this planet of 1.4 billion aspirants, right? So we are 1.4 billion people,
Right.
and we are all aspirational. We all want to do better. We want the world to
Correct.
progress. But our healthcare infrastructure still is lagging far behind. We started developing systems for healthcare only post independence. And that too, today, when you look at healthcare, it's very asymmetrical. The have nots have no access to healthcare, and the very well to do's have access to what we accept as a very, very good healthcare. The real answer lies somewhere in between. We have to start looking at
Right.
how technology can be integrated inside healthcare to make healthcare for the mantra that I say accessible, available, and affordable. Now,
Right.
how we do this, I'll be very happy to explain it to you. But I think I can see a huge role that technology will play for transformation of healthcare, not just in India, but across the globe.
That's really great. So the second question is, what changes are needed to foster innovation and support healthcare tech startups in India?
Yeah, let me extend by telling the previous answer, extending it a bit so we can address this question of what is needed, right? Innovation is
Right.
coming out of every human mind. And when I look at India, India probably is the land of innovators. We've had a culture of innovation.
Right.
When you think about it, we've contributed to the globe ever since our existence. And our civilization is more than 7,000 years old,
Yeah.
right? So our contribution to science can never get ignored. Our human in India, it is very, very natural for me to hear the word jugaad. And jugaad is nothing more than innovation in today's world. So let's start thinking about how will it
Definitely.
implement allow healthcare. So when you look at healthcare today, healthcare is about treating someone who's ill. That's an incomplete definition. Healthcare should be about maintaining health, not treating when there is a problem. And the difference between that is like a car. Would you like to service
Right.
your car and not get into trouble, or would you like to wait till the engine conks on you and then take it to the garage? Yes, the garage will still fix it.
Right.
But to fix a blown engine is way too
Yeah.
more expensive if I prevent and do servicing. So this first part is known as predictive and preventive healthcare, which is currently just not existing. A lot of people are trying, and that is an area that will need a lot of thinking and innovation, where I see a huge promise. And the second
Definitely.
component is the traditional healthcare, which is hospitals, where we really fix people. You have a heart attack, I'll put a stent. You have appendicitis, I'll remove the appendix. So that is treatment, but that is interventional stroke illness management.
Yeah.
Both of these are evolving, but let me tell you, I'm very excited about how we are going to start predicting diseases. And then I'll come to how we are going to manage illnesses better. So just for a moment, start thinking that your human body is just a machine. And we are emitting information out of our body every microsecond. You're giving heat signals, your pulse is going up and down, your microvessels are pulsating, and you're just used to it, so you don't see it. You've not got the ability to listen to the human machine. So when doctors started training, one of the first things they tried to do was listen to the human machine. And you have heard of the word stethoscope, right? A stethoscope is nothing more than a device to listen to how you're breathing and how your heart is sounding. Very primitive, right? Now extend that to say I can monitor all the signals coming out of the human body. Today we have the ability, by merely looking at someone, to reverse calculate what your breathing is, what your heart rate is, what your blood pressure is, how much oxygen you have in your blood. The problem doesn't lie in having the data. The problem lies in interpreting the data. If I give you 50,000 variables, your brain is not capable of trying to synthesize the correlations.
Right.
This is where the advances in AI is really, really mind-bogglingly helpful. Now imagine if I give an AI engine all the parameters coming out of a human body, and I also tell it, okay, this is this man's medical history, this is what happened, and the continuity of data will mean that they will now start analyzing. If this signal set happens, then that event happens. So for instance, do you really think anyone gets a heart attack suddenly? No. That vessel is narrowing slowly over a period of time, and then one finds there is a clot that comes and blocks it. But when the vessel is narrowing, I'm sure some signal will change. Now, I don't have the ability to interpret what that change in signal is, but the AI can pick up that trend for me. So when you start thinking, where is technology heading for wellness or preventive health, we will start taking human physiological signals, which will be coming out of your Fitbit, your Samsung watch, your wearables, hundreds of them. But signals will be put on the cloud for an AI cloud to start synthesizing. Now, the one bit that any AI engine needs is context. There's no point in telling it, we have to draft your question correctly. So it has to have some context. So that is the bit that I'm involved in at Axonic Health. What we've realized is there's a very complementary part that this future will need, and that's what we've built. right?
Hmm.
To say, yes,
Yeah.
in the future, I'll be able to look at Shruti and tell her, Shruti, your artery is narrowing by 0.03%. Can we change your lifestyle so your artery will always stay normal? So that is
Right.
where technology is going to impact. It's still not real, but we are walking on that path. Now let's come to what you can do today. How will illness
Right.
management get affected? Now, believe me, today a doctor is nothing more than a data analyst. And a lot of my colleagues will get very startled
Yeah.
when I make this statement, but that is true. Human beings are just data analysts. What we do is we take a lot of information, we process it in our brain, and we act on it. And every profession is the same. So every one of us is a data analyst. Now, what do? I take signals out of you.
Right.
So I'll ask you your history, I'll examine you, I'll get parametric data, and ultimately in my mind, I'll synthesize and say, oh, she's got XYZ.
Right. Hmm.
But remember, this power
Right.
is already being documented by my large language models. If I train an LLM and give them the input,
Right.
now the challenge lies, okay, can we trust the LLM? And the answer is not yet. Can I replace experience and intuition
Right.
with an LLM today? The answer is no, because the LLM still actually tries to synthesize data, what is known as hallucinations. And we need to start working with the models so we can keep empowering the doctor for the future. Today, doctors actually are
Right.
specialists in very small areas. I'm a surgeon, someone's a physician, someone's a cardiologist, someone's a neurologist. And the reason for it is no single person is capable of knowing it all.
Right.
But what if I made it possible? What if any doctor is as good about anything with access to a model? And then he can use his intuition and give you the right intervention. So even that space is going to get transformed. That timeline is probably not that long. I would see that happening over the next 5 to 6 years. And 5 to 6 years, not because technology is not available. Technology is available as of yesterday. We will mature it over the next year, maximum 2 years. But change management is a big issue in healthcare. As a patient, you don't want a bot to tell you what is wrong with you. You need a human
Yeah.
who will understand you. You will want to hold your hands to say, hey, Shruti, this is how I'll sort you out. So
Right.
that part is where the time is going to go. And of course, I see a future where healthcare is no longer going to be about illness management. Illness will be an exception. And maintenance or predictive health, preventive health is going to be the natural rule of the day. But that's a dream worth pursuing, and I'll wait and see when it's real.
That's great.